I slammed my truck door and tore off across the gravel, my heart racing so hard it nearly drowned out the sound of my boots. The sky was closing and dusk falling fast, but every light on my ranch was dead, every single one, even the motion sensor out by the barn that had never gone out in 15 years. That was my first warning sign, and I wished to God I'd trusted it, but it was what I saw next that really put my blood on ice. There, hunched over the main power box with a pair of insulated wire cutters, was Karen. Yes, that Karen wearing her HOA vest like some kind of sheriff in a dime store western. I caught a full view of her face in the moonlight, hair frizzed up like a spooked raccoon, lips moving fast as she yanked at wires she had no business touching. "You have no authority to do that," I hollered, stomping up with my phone already out. Her head snapped around so fast I thought she'd break her neck. Her face drained pale. For a second she froze, then in a heartbeat she was screaming into her own phone. 911. "Yes, I'm being attacked. He's here with a weapon." Now I'm standing there dumbfounded. One hand with my keys, the other with my phone, about as threatening as a bag of marshmallows. That's when I caught the faint wail of sirens bouncing off the hills. And well, let me back up a sec so you really get how it came to this circus. I'm Daniel Rodes, 57, veteran ranch owner, born stubborn. My wife Marlene and I bought this dusty piece of Montana 15 years ago, poured our savings and our hearts into making it home. Nothing fancy, just sweat hay bales, a vegetable patch, a couple barns, and the old workshop where my dad taught me to build anything I could dream up. The critical detail here is this: my ranch is not, never has been, and never will be part of the Willow Creek HOA. That was by design. But try telling that to Karen Morgan, self-appointed queen of Willow Creek HOA, who lives half a mile away in a brand new gated neighborhood, one of those places where everyone's mailbox matches golf carts are more common than actual cars, and the neighbors all wave, but only if you're up to their standards. Karen. She decided my ranch was her problem to solve, HOA lines or not. It started with a flyer taped to my front gate, some chirpy pitch for joining the community for enhanced property values, straight into the burn barrel. Then came Karen herself, clipboard pastel sweater, big smile. "We'd love to have you join Daniel. You'd benefit from pest control and shared services." I gave her a polite, "No thanks, not interested," and shut the gate behind her. That should have been the end of it, but with Karen, nothing ends. Next came emails. Don't know how she got my address, and phone calls, which means she dug around town for my number. Then, strangers started showing up inspecting my fence, one actually snapping photos in his slacks at 6:30 in the morning. HOA inspector, he claimed, documenting violations. I laughed in his face, told him to take his clip-on tie and get off my land. But after that, Karen stepped up her game reports to the county animal control, called on my goats for being hostile, noise complaints about my roosters. She even accused me of keeping the grass too long as a safety hazard. So when Marlene surprised me with tickets for a fishing weekend, I hesitated. She told me, "Go Daniel, let it go. She's not going to do anything while you're gone." I left Thursday morning, left Sam, my 70-something neighbor, with more stories than patience, in charge of keeping an eye out. "Karen won't do anything nuts," he said, but by Saturday, my gut said otherwise. I cut the trip short. Soon as I got home, something was off-gate ajar. No trespassing sign, missing every light dead, and there's Karen caught red-handed at my power box. Now I need you to picture the main players here. Me, retired Marine, keeps to myself, believes in fences and minding your own business. Karen, HOA tyrant with a clipboard and a mission from God to control every blade of grass within a mile. Sam, old school, gruff but honest, always has my back. Marlene's smarter than all of us put together. Heart of Gold warned me Karen was trouble. Back to that night. Karen's shrieking about being attacked, and I know if the cops show up and believe her story, things could go south fast. I put both hands up, phone rolling. Karen, step away from the power box. I say steady as I can. Just then, red and blue lights flood my driveway. 2 deputies jump out. Karen's pointing, breathless. "That's him, officer." He threatened me. One cop heads my way, the other to Karen, and suddenly there's a loud crash from my workshop. Every head turns. Someone just broke in. Nobody, not even Sam, was supposed to be here but me. That's when I realized Karen didn't come alone. The deputy's hand goes to his holster. "Stay put," he orders. The other pulls Karen aside. "Ma'am, what's going on here?" she stammers, caught in a web she can't untangle. "Back up in a K9 unit, show up fast, flashlights everywhere, guns drawn. Come out with your hands up," the lead officer shouts. There's silence. Then the door creaks and out steps a man I've never seen, camo jacket, grease-stained jeans, clutching my power tools. "Thought this place was abandoned," he yelps as he's cuffed. I turn to Karen. "Friend of yours?" She snaps, "Never seen him before, but even the deputy isn't buying it." They separate them for questioning, and I offer my security cam footage straight from my phone. The cameras caught it all, Karen pulling up with a toolkit, then this guy breaking into my workshop. When the cops confront the thief, he cracks. "She hired me, said the owner was gone, just grab some tools and be out." Karen's face goes sheet white, but now it's official, she's in deep. The cops radio for statements, check the footage, and tell Karen and her new accomplice not to leave town. But even as they drive off, Karen's in the back seat staring at me, not defeated, grinning. That was the kind of grin that says, "You haven't seen anything yet." 3 days later, I'm patching my workshop door, living off generators because the utility company can't reconnect power until they investigate the fraudulent disconnection filed under my name. Marlene's worried, calling every hour, but I tell her to stay put, no need for her to get dragged in. It goes quiet, until Sam shows up with a flyer he ripped down from the Willow Creek bulletin board, "Community Vote Remove, Dangerous Neighbor." My face, mid-yawn, plastered under a warning about unstable veterans. Karen's smear campaign in full swing. People in town start whispering. Karen's poison is spreading, but I won't let it stick. I clean up, shave, and show up at the next HOA meeting right as Karen's telling everyone how dangerous individuals threaten our safety. I walk right to the front, plug my phone into their projector, and play the video, the whole ugly truth, Karen cutting power, hiring a thief, faking a 911 call. The room goes silent. When it ends, I say, "This is who you're trusting." That was the end of Karen's social reign. The crowd turned on her fast. I didn't gloat, just walked out with my dignity and my evidence. But the attacks didn't stop. The very next evening, my gate was cut and left open, all my livestock let loose. Sam and I spent hours wrangling goats and chickens, Daisy the cow, halfway to the woods before Sam bribed her with watermelon. This was sabotage, plain and simple. In the dirt, I found a laminated threat: HOA will take action if you resist community standards. I filed a police report right then, but I also doubled my security night vision trail cams, reinforced locks, the works. Still, they got in. One day I came home to find my house ransacked, TV and power tools gone, windows smashed. Not a random theft, but the same MO as Karen's hired help. I caught one of the HOA guys from the meeting, Kyle, Karen's nephew, on my new cameras, caught in the act, cutting the chain and letting my animals loose. Now it was personal and organized. It escalated when a black SUV pulled up Karen, Kyle, and a man in a county utility jacket strutting toward my breaker box. "We have official clearance," Karen crowed, waving fake documents. "They cut my power again, everything went dark. I called the real utility company, and they confirmed nobody legitimate had been sent. Impersonating a county worker is a federal crime, and now I had it all on tape. That night, I didn't sleep. I gathered every file, every recording, every printout, and drove straight to the sheriff. He watched my footage and just shook his head. They're about to get cleaned up by the law, but I wasn't waiting for justice to come crawling. I uploaded a video, every bit of evidence, every attack, every face, put it online, sent it to the news, and let the world decide. 30,000 views in 24 hours, local news at my door utility company, stepping in lawsuits flying. The HOA board started resigning in droves, but Karen, she was nowhere to be found. Then came the knockout punch. I woke up one morning to see 3 men in hard hats and vests planting a big sign in my soil, future site of Willow Creek Ranch Estates, Phase 2. Karen had submitted county paperwork to rezone my ranch, bulldoze it for condos. She faked the records, claimed the land was abandoned, even filed a beautification plan to justify it. I copied every crooked document and handed it to the reporter who ran the whole mess on the evening news, Karen's face plastered under the headline, "Local HOA President Accused of Land Grab Scheme." But Karen wasn't done. I found a court summons nailed to my gate. She was suing me for community disruption. My hands shook, but now I had every fact, every clip, every page. The day before our hearing, Sam barreled in breathless, shoving his phone in my face. County audit had caught Karen red-handed fraud, forgery, bribes, impersonating officials. Warrant out for her arrest. She vanished. Her lawyer tried to delay court, but the judge dismissed her case with a laugh. I walked out of court finally free. A few days later, the sheriff himself handed me the final report. Karen permanently removed, HOA under state investigation, my land protected by a 10-year freeze. When Chloe, the reporter, asked if I had any advice, I just said, "Never let anyone tell you you don't belong on your own land. Fight with truth. Stand your ground. And always record everything." That was the end of Karen's reign, but I'd be lying if I said it was the end of trouble. Every so often, a strange car crawls past my gate, a fresh tire track in the dirt. But I'm always watching. Because I'm not part of any HOA, I'm the owner here and I'm not leaving. Not for Karen, not for anybody with a clipboard and an agenda. So what about you? Where are you watching from? Ever had a neighbor or HOA nightmare of your own? Drop your story in the comments. I know I'm not the only one fighting to keep what's theirs. Stay strong out there, stay free, and don't let the gate hit you on the way out.